Well, hey, y'all, I'm Melanie Redd, and I want to welcome you to Ordinary Women, Extraordinary God video. And we are working in tandem with the Ministries of Love and Finding, and it's our heart to encourage you to laugh without fear of the future. And I'm loving having these candid conversations over coffee and tea with some of the most amazing women. And today you get to meet another one, and you're going to love her and her accent. This is my friend Laura Thomas. She's a writer. She's my online friend, and we are in some groups together, and it's been a joy to get to know her, and I wanted you to meet her. So welcome, Laura. We're so glad you're here today.
Thanks so much, Melanie. It's absolutely my pleasure.
Yes. Well, tell us a little bit about you. We hear the accent, and so tell us about you and maybe where you live and a little bit about what you do in your family.
Sure. I'm originally from the UK, as you may guess. And we emigrated from the UK to Canada, actually back in 1995, which is a long time ago. Can't ditch the accent, but it's a long time ago. I live in beautiful British Columbia. I live in Kelowna, and we have mountains and lakes, and we love it here. My husband and I have been married, actually it'll be 35 years in May, which is crazy. I've been dating him since I was 14, so we've literally been together forever, which is just wonderful. We're empty nesters. We have 3 grown children who have all gone to other cities, and 1 grandbaby who is absolutely adorable. But home here is just my husband, myself, and 2 bulldogs, Lily and Lulu.
Yes, yes.
And I'm a writer. I'm a published Christian author, multi-genre, but my genre at the moment, my last 4 books have been Christian romantic suspense novels. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
I think that's so cool to know to know a writer, a fiction writer. Most of our friends write nonfiction like me, but it's a lot of fun to know Laura and to hear a little bit about her. And so tell us this. Our theme is that we're ordinary women pursuing an extraordinary God. How are you ordinary? How are you just one of the girls?
I love this question. I'm very ordinary, I can assure you. I shave my legs just like everybody else. I'm a homebody. I'm an absolute introvert. Like, home is my happy place. I'm a chocoholic. I have problems.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm just a regular person. I have regular insecurities when things are not going well, when things are not going as I think they should. I worry. I think that I'm not good enough, smart enough, young enough, whatever enough. And then when things do go well, I have imposter syndrome. And it's like,
Yes, yes.
So I think, like many regular, ordinary women, it's just we share many similar traits.
Yeah, and I think you're so right. People think, oh, you've published a book, you must have it all together, and your life must be perfect, or whatever they think. You make videos or you do interviews, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. We're just regular girls too. So
yeah, we all have our stuff.
Yeah, our stuff. We do have our stuff. Well, let me ask you the flip side of that question. How has God been extraordinary to you?
Oh, goodness. Honestly, if I paid attention more, I would probably say every single day. I think because I'm a pretty visual creature. So for me, I think when I do pay attention to his bigness, so when I see a stunning sunset splashed across the sky, or I'm up in our snow-covered mountains, or I just look up at night and see the stars, I remember how huge and powerful and mighty he is, and how small I am. And I am small. I'm 5'2" on a good day. But I mean, how he looks at me in my smallness, and he loves me, and he knows me, and he listens to me. And for me, like, he heard me when I had a writing dream that I kept secret for 25 years, which is a long time, let's be honest. But he saw me and he heard me, and he grew me in that time. And he waited until I was totally ready, and then he came through for me. And yeah, he's extraordinary in so many ways. But for me, I think remembering his bigness, my smallness, and that beautiful relationship that we can have with him. That's pretty mind-blowing.
That's so good. I was thinking, we have this new puppy. He's about 5.5 months. And so he has to go out all the time. And so I've been outside at really interesting times of the day and night. And last night I went out, it was kind of late. It was cool. And I looked up and the moon was full. And you're right. There's something about when you just notice because you pay attention. I'm just waiting on this puppy and I'm thinking, wow, God. And then I went out early this morning before the sun was up and birds are singing everywhere. And the sky is kind of it almost looked like cotton candy. And once again, it was like, wow, God. And I think you're right. I think nature and God's creation really reminds us how extraordinary he is.
Yeah, little glimpse, right? Just a little glimpse of his glory. Yes.
Yeah. Just a reminder. It's like a little nudge and you go, oh yes. I serve a big God and he does amazing things. So I love that. I think that's really cool. Let me ask you this. What are you excited about in your life right now that's upcoming for you? Have you got a new book? Is there a new grandbaby, a trip you and your husband are taking? Just something you're looking forward to in this year?
Yeah. I hope this is going to be a great year, actually. Yes. Yeah. Well, with our anniversary, I will definitely be taking my husband away on a trip. My goal at the moment is find a palm tree where there's no snow and go sit under it for a while with my husband. So definitely a trip. And I do, if this interview was like a week or two later, I would be able to blurb a whole bunch of exciting news about a new book. Don't tell I know, that's okay. Let's just say that I have a brand new book contract that is about to be signed, hopefully this week. Yeah. So, and it's a brand new series, a brand new publisher, a brand new everything. And it's something that I have been waiting on for a long time. So I am trying to be cool about it, but I'm just dying inside.
Oh, that's so exciting. Congratulations. That's so exciting. Yes. And Laura writes whole series. Like I've read one of your whole series. She does fiction, Christian fiction, romantic, some of them are mysteries.
Yeah. Romantic suspense, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't have the right genre. Remember, I don't write fiction.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm in the nonfiction category. But you may want to check out. I'll put links for you, and you can go to her Amazon page and anywhere else she wants to share with us, so that you can find her books and maybe start a series. But let me ask you this: I didn't tell you I was going to ask this, but I got to ask because somebody's going to want to know. What do you think got you over the hump to actually go for it on writing? Let's say somebody's watching or listening and they want to write, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. Well, what word of encouragement would you give them? Because I think a lot of people want to. They have a book in them and they may not have waited 25 years.
Honestly, yes.
What do you feel like got you over that hump? Because that's a long time to wait to write that first book. So what was the impetus? Is there something, a word of encouragement that you could give to somebody who's just really would love to write a book?
Yeah, and honestly, I get this a lot. When people find out that you are a writer, they're like, I've always wanted to write this book, but I've never told anybody or whatever. I would say to tell somebody, honestly, because for me, as I said, it's a crazy story, but I did keep it a secret for 25 years. This was a childhood dream I had. I wanted to be Beatrix Potter when I was a little girl, and I didn't tell a soul. I was a real bookworm. I loved everything books, and nobody told me I couldn't do it. I just decided for myself that it was a dream too lofty. I mean, back then you didn't have like authors going to schools doing visits. It was just like, it seemed a real pie in the sky kind of thing. So I kept it to myself, but it was always there on the back burner. I didn't tell my husband. I didn't tell my parent, anybody. And so it was actually my husband that I told in the end. And like I say, it's just sharing that with somebody. And for us, we were having coffee and he talking about our like dreams for the future. And he said, come on, what's your next dream? And so I just blurted it out. I'm like, oh, I want to write a book one day. And he was all like, what? Like, forever. And I think it was getting more to the forefront because I homeschooled my kids for about 13 years, and reading to them and teaching them to love books as well. I think it kind of started me kind of feeling a little more serious and a little bit more brave about mentioning it maybe. And as soon as I told him, he was like, tell me about it. What's this dream? What are you waiting for? Do it now. And that night I came home and I started writing an application form because I had no idea where to start. Is it overwhelming? It is. And I totally get that. Where do you start? I wanted to write for children initially. So I applied to the Institute of Children's Literature in the States, and I took courses with them. I'm like, I got to start somewhere. I couldn't just like write a book off the top of my head, not knowing how to do it. I mean, but it all started with telling somebody and having somebody then keep you accountable,
I love that. I think that's key on anything we want to do, any big dream, because if you keep it inside, it's like it's not real. But when you say it, there's something about, I love that. So if you're watching, I want to encourage you to do that. I have people, I regularly have coffee or lunch with someone and they'll almost whisper it. It's like I'm the first person they've told outside their family, and they'll say, I have a book. I met with a girl recently, we had coffee, and she has a poem that she wrote that she wants to turn into a children's book. And all I did was say, yes, you should do it. I'm not doing it for her, but she needed someone to affirm that it was a good idea and to tell her she could do it. So listen, you can tell us. You can write comments below. I'm going to tell you how to get in touch with Laura. You can get in touch with me, and you just say, hey, I got to tell somebody. I have a heart to do this. Would you pray? Would you cheer me on? Yes, we will.
Yeah. And I can take it one step further. I'm actually a certified writing coach, and all the details are on my website. So if you're serious about it, I coach newbie writers, seasoned writers, fiction, nonfiction. But if you want somebody to hold you accountable and you want to know how to even start this writing dream, I would love to chat. So there's that too.
That's awesome. I don't know that I knew that. Maybe I did, but I'll tell you, yes, go for it. And then I'll send you to Laura.
Perfect. Teamwork.
Yeah, see, I think that's great. And I think there are so many people that have a dream, and it may not be to write a book. You may have something else that you want to do. But I encourage you, don't be afraid, and don't let your age or your stage of life or how long it's passed or the fact that you think you're not good enough keep you from doing it. Laura and I both, most of my books I wrote later in life too. And, it's cool to look back and people are like, how did you publish all those books? I was like, you have to be willing to get out there. And it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It's just not poof magic.
I wish.
Yes. But it's so fun. I call them my book babies. I mean, when you get to hold a book in your hands that you wrote, that was from something God put on your heart, there's nothing quite like it. So
I agree.
It's awesome.
I agree.
Yes. Well, thank you. That's a good word. I love sharing that. So y'all tell that secret, whatever that dream is. I dare you. Tell somebody trusted, somebody that will be careful with your dream. I wouldn't just throw it out there, but find a friend, and you can tell me or Laura if you don't have anybody else, and we will cheer for you. So that's wonderful. I love knowing that. Let me ask you this. What has God been teaching you in your own life? Is there something you've been learning that you think, man, this would probably encourage someone else today? Is there a lesson you're learning, a book you're reading, a book of the Bible you're studying, just something kind of a personal, encouraging lesson that you've been learning?
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to ask me this, so I've been thinking about it. And honestly, I feel like he's teaching me stuff all the time. I feel like I'm also a slow learner, and he has to tell me many times.
Yes, me too.
Something though that has stuck with me for the last couple of months is just before Christmas, actually, at our church. Our pastor just got up, and he actually wasn't preaching that Sunday, but he just said, this prayer has been on my heart all week and I can't get it out of my head. I'm just going to pray it right now. And if you need to take it into your week this week, take it. And I really needed it that week. And it's just been it's been with me ever since. And it's so simple. And the words are simple, but it's a big thing. And it's this: God, I give you everyone. God, I give you everything. So simple, so huge.
It is.
And for me, that week, just like it was right before Christmas, and we had family that was trying to fly all over the country, and everything was turning upside down, and I didn't know whether I could get all my kids together, and it was a whole bunch of stuff all going on, and that prayer was just like front and center, like hourly, the whole thing, and since then I'm like, I need to pray this every single day over my family, my writing, my home, my church, everything, every area of my life. God, I give you everyone. God, I give you everything. And that means prying my hands open and trusting him fully, right? And my life verse is Proverbs 3:5 and 6, which I know are favorites for you as well, Melanie, and for a lot of people for different reasons. But trust in the Lord with all your heart, and don't lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, submit to him, and he will direct your paths. And yeah, it's just something that I think just those verses and that simple yet huge prayer, I have found such peace, joy, and rest just in being able to pray those words. So yeah, I would just love to share that, and if that speaks to anybody, or it's something that you can write down, scribble down, and keep on your desk or on your mirror or something. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, he wants us to do that, right? He wants every part of our lives.
Absolutely. That's good. I love that. I find myself often just saying, here.
Yeah.
Okay, here. And I had a friend that said, no fingertips. When you're letting go, you got to let the finger. No, you can't even hold on with one finger. And,
I know.
It is a challenge. I think we all have that. And it's it's laying things at his feet and giving him the opportunity to work. And so that's a sweet prayer. I love that. That's great. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think a lot of people will be able to relate, because we as, excuse me, we as women, we have a hard time sometimes laying things down. Yeah.
A control freak. Yeah.
Now we want to help. God needs our help, right?
Clearly.
So, yeah, I think that's a definite female thing. I think we all get that. But I love that, just to give everything and everyone. That's sweet. Good prayer. I may start praying that as well.
There you go. Excellent.
That's a great way to pray. We'll share that. I'm going to put that in the comments below.
Do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Laura, you mentioned that people could get in touch with you. What's the best way? How do you like for people to reach out to you? What's the best way?
I guess the easiest way is my website, which is laurathomasauthor.com. So if you go there, all my socials links are there, all my books, my writing coaching, my blog, just everything. That's kind of the hub. You can also sign up I do a monthly newsletter with a book giveaway and a baking recipe and some soul encouragement, reading recommendations. That's a lot of fun. And and come say hi. Instagram is probably where I hang out the most, but I'm in all the places. And like I say, it's all on my website.
Good. And you were like me in that we want you to reach out to us. It's okay to say, it's okay to make a comment. Some people will tell me, oh, I watch your things, but I never say anything. I'm like, please start. It's okay to talk to me. That's why I'm putting it out there, to encourage you. So I'll put all that information. You can get in touch with Laura, and she'd love to hear from you. You don't have to be a writer. You can just let her know you were encouraged, or ask her a question, or just get on her email list so that you can kind of know what she's doing. And I know she'd love to have you. Let me ask you this as we're finishing up. Is there anything else you want to share? Sometimes you think of, when we do these interviews, I know when I'm interviewed, I'll think, oh, there's one more thing. So do you have one more thing for us before we go? Anything else you want to share?
I love quotes. I love finding quotes all over the place. And I found this quote yesterday and I was like, oh, I need to read this one for you. This one's for you. Okay. So this is Lisa Turkhurst, who she says all the great things. So here we go. If we are obedient to God in the midst of our ordinary lives, extraordinary impact is always possible. And it just jumped out at me, because with your ordinary women, extraordinary God, it's like, oh yes, obedience to God in the midst of our ordinary lives, for us ordinary women doing ordinary daily things.
Yes.
Extraordinary impact is always possible because we have an extraordinary God. So I just wanted to give you that quote to wrap things up.
Yes. I love the one. It's kind of similar to that. She says, our job is obedience. God's job is everything else. That's Lisa Turkhurst. I like that one too. So that's great. That's a great way to end. I appreciate that. Yes, and thank you for everything else that you've shared. This has been so good and so encouraging and hope-filled. And I believe people are going to watch and say, wow, that blessed me. And so if you are watching and something blessed you or encouraged you, make a note below, comment to us, get in touch with Laura, get to know her, start following her ministry. I believe you'll be encouraged, and you need to get some of her books. I love her writing, and I'm glad you decided to step out and go for it.
Thanks so much.
Yes, it would have been sad if you had not told your husband and given it a shot. Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of finish up in that way and say, y'all go for it. Don't be afraid to do something that God's placed on your heart. Don't be afraid to dream, and let someone know what that vision is, that thing that you've been sitting on. I bet there's some people watching and you really have something you're thinking, oh, I really want to do this. And so thank you, Laura, for encouraging us to go for it.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me, Melanie. It really has been a joy.
It's been fun. And listen, thank you for joining us today. And our prayer is that you will laugh without fear of the future, and that these videos will just give you a little extra courage. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again, Laura.
Thanks.